It's not just my answers, they cut everybody's answers short. When you're doing television, they cut about every 3 to 4 seconds. That's why this interview is going to be cut right down to me saying, I believe in 666.
Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, cheers, Grant, nice movie. Oh, I like the bit with Red Presley at the end there. It's a sort of one of the great ironies of the whole crop circle thing, that its research is principally funded these days by Wet, 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 having had a hit with Lovers All Around.
Well, certainly Reg has been tapped by various individuals who shall remain nameless, but he's a generous guy and he's got a good heart, even if he might be somewhat misguided.
How long did you spend making that?
About a year in production, I would say, and about 8 months previous trying to fund it. I never got any funded, so I ended up going to the bank, getting a loan and doing it off my own back.
To which I can only applaud, and it's the only way to really get things done in the end, isn't it?
Yeah, I took a big chance, but I think it's going to pay off. My idea was never to really make a profit on it, it's just to recoup my investment, and I think I'm about to do that. So.
Well, but spiritually, if you like, if you use such an arty word, what were you trying to achieve with this? What kind of message are you trying to put across at all?
The crop circles are a very interesting art form, and they're a great forum for people to meet. It's a very beautiful subculture. And I think people think that the mystery is over because of the Doug and Dave hoaxing revelations, and now they're quite well-known teams of circle makers, and people think it's not a mystery anymore. But what's actually deepening the mystery is that people who make them are having extreme strange coincidences and synchronicities and are experiencing anomalous phenomenon while they construct circles.
Such as?
So it just kind of turns back in on itself. They've seen sort of flashes of light, columns of light. They've planned to make a formation, and it showed up being made by someone else. They've made a formation and an additional circle has been added to it overnight, which was actually on their diagram, but they didn't put on because they ran out of time. And they come back the next day and there it is. And so it is a very sort of strange, magical thinking world.
Yeah, I mean, is this what perpetuates people's belief in the alien involvement in all this, do you think?
I think that's really a facet of humanity to reach to sort of heaven and think of some sort of God figure as being outside of us, you know, that is going to come down and do all these things for us. Yeah. I think the alien thing is just one in a long list of that.
It could be aliens' lawyers coming to do them for copyright violations, of course. That's another possibility. Well, this brings us to a bit of VT, which I believe we have, which is known as the Oliver's Castle footage.
Yes.
Now, if you could talk us through this.
This caused a bit of a sensation, really. It was photographed by a man who identified himself as John Wabe, and he showed it to 2 people in the eyepiece of a camcorder at the Barge Inn pub, which is kind of the crop circle mecca, at about 11:15 at night. He then handed the tape to investigator Peter Sorensen, who in my opinion is one of the most honest and upfront investigators in the business. And then he invited Peter to come to an edit suite in Bristol that he said he'd booked in order to show him the master tape. So Peter drove down there following his car, and Peter's got a bit of a reputation for having a camera stuck to his face and filming anything that moves. And he happened to be photographing out of the front window of his car. Anyway, this comes in later. They get to the studio. It seems that John Wabe knows the exact way around this studio. He goes into an edit suite and puts the tape in a machine as if he's been doing it for most of his life. And Peter has also been in computer graphics and filmmaking himself, and he thinks this guy displaying familiarity, which is...
With editing equipment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then he later watched the film he shot out of his car window and found that this man identifying himself as John Wabe, his number plate was partially obscured. The contact phone number they gave him was a mobile phone, and that was later switched off, and he completely disappeared. And it took about 6 months of investigating to find him again. And his real name is John Whaley. The film itself has digital fingerprinting in it. It means the graphics in it have been rendered in single frame.
Right.
Now, the idea is that someone made the original formation, he photographed it at 5 in the morning, took it to an edit suite, rendered the graphics in single field, because that's the fastest way you could do it, in time to drive back to the Barge Inn and show people in the camcorder eyepiece. The master tape has never been made available for analysis. So all of these things point to me as being just someone trying to chuck a spanner in the works.
Well, I was going to say, why would they want to do that?
That is one of the most enduring mysteries of crop circles, is why people want to foster these kind of belief systems. Yeah. And I think they are a cross between pranksters and sort of shaman almost, because they create these shapes in the field or create these videos, and people believe these things, and they come together in their hundreds believing it. And it's absolutely real to them. I mean, the film really did cause a sensation.
Is this an international thing? Because I've only ever really heard of it happening in Britain.
Britain is the vast majority do occur, but they do occur in Canada, the United States, in Japan, the Netherlands, particularly in the Netherlands now. Belgium.
It's nice and flat, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but some pranksters were actually caught in Hungary. They are the only people on record as ever being caught in the act of making a circle, and they were fined the equivalent of £27.
Shucks. Grant, great to have you with us. After the break, out there, we'll welcome Jonathan Margolis, plus the subject of his latest book, One Uri Geller. I will be talking to them about skeptics, believers, and trying to find out why a man with those kind of abilities would spend his days appearing on TV shows plugging books when he ought to be out curing diseases and putting an end to global conflict. Oh, well, there's also a look at Clive James on science fiction and a review of the new game Wargasm.